videos. If you have any question, you can reach out. But I'm going to still touch some basic things for you and Mr. Rupert so that you are not just in the class and you don't understand what we are doing. I know Mr. Rupert has been able to watch some videos, but then we'll still do a very little breakdown for you to see what we've been able to do so far. Mr. Abraham, please can you quickly share Excel for data analysis?
Excel for data analytics?
Yes, Excel for data
Okay.
analysis.
I thought you wanted introduction. All right.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Rupert said he has watched the video, so let me quickly do Excel for data analysis. So, Dami, have you heard about data analysis before? Do you know what it's all about, or it's like your first time here? You've not heard anything about data analysis, you're like a novice.
Although I've heard a lot about data analysis, but I've not really made research about. That's why I'm willing to.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. We're here to guide you. Like I said, when you go through the LMS and you have any question, you can always reach out. So this course, data analysis, we are going to be learning a lot of things. We're going to be learning foundations of data. We've been able to do that, but we'll still go through it again. We will learn data visualization, data analysis techniques, then tools for data analysis. So for the new learners that are just joining today, we are going to learn 4 tools in this class. So first of all is going to be Excel.
Hello, Favor. We can't hear you. Hello, guys. Sorry. Let me quickly find
Okay.
out what
Hello,
exactly. Are
class.
you
Can
there?
you hear me now?
Okay. Yes. Yes. I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you, Favor. Hello, guys. Please, can you guys hear her? Because I can't.
We can't hear any.
Okay, she just reached out to me now that she's having some internet challenges. She's trying to fix it. In 5 minutes, she'll be back. But let me just continue to give a brief introduction of what you are set to learn in the course for the new guys, Damilola, Rupert, and Shanu. All right, so for this course, we'll be looking at 4 tools. For data analytics, you can use several tools. It's all about trying to interpret your data, trying to get information from your data, in several ways. Data is usually raw. It's usually, it can be in any form, but when you analyze it using certain tools, you are able to draw certain insights, and you can now have a real understanding of that data. And it's basically for making good and better business decisions. Like I believe some of us have been hearing, data helps to make better business decisions or data-driven decisions. So there are several tools that we can use to achieve this. But for this class, we are going to be looking at Microsoft Excel. We're going to be looking at Microsoft Power BI, SQL, structured query language, and then Python for data analytics. There are other tools. There's Google Sheets. You can use Google Sheets for analyzing data. You can use ClickView, ClickSense. You can use Tableau. But for this class and what Infinite Tecla has to offer, we are going to be taking Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power BI, SQL, and Python. So for what we have on our screen, we have the module overview, that is the Excel for data analysis. We're going to be looking at introduction to data analysis, overview of Excel as a data analysis tool, preparing data for analysis, core functions and formulas for data analysis, advanced tools, Power Query, and Power Pivots, visualization techniques, automating analysis with macros, real-world case scenarios, best practices, and pitfalls to avoid. So some of us might have heard of Microsoft Excel before, and we might be led to think that it's just about calculation and numbers and figures. But there's so much that we can do with Microsoft Excel. Actually, there are businesses or companies that use only Microsoft Excel for their data analysis purposes. It's a wholesome tool for that purpose. But because of advancements and increase in the volume of data that is being collected in the world every day, these companies have started, developing other tools that can accommodate the increase. Like for instance, now, if you look at Microsoft Excel, I wasn't really prepared for this class, so I really don't have some stuff open. I don't have Microsoft Excel open. I would have shown you like what it looks like. Okay, let me see if we have something here. Okay, if you look at my screen now, on the right-hand side, you see the ribbon and the sheets. You can see there are some numbers on the left-hand side that signifies the rows. Those rows are about 1,040,000 rows. That means it can accommodate about 1 million rows of data, about 1 million rows of data. But today in our data world, we have seen data sets that carry up to 10 million rows of data to be analyzed. So in that case, it means you can no longer use Excel to analyze that data assets. You understand? So you now start looking for another tool that you can use to do that. And in that case, we have a tool like Microsoft Power BI. We have Python that we can use to analyze data sets that have rows, that have records of over 1 million in number. So that's why you see there are different tools used for different purposes. There's another thing. We can start with a particular one like Microsoft Excel, for example, and then we decide to finish in Power BI. You get, we can decide to do some stuff in Microsoft Excel and then complete it in Power BI. It's all about the process of analyzing your data and how best you want to do it or how you have decided to do it.
Hello, Mr.
Now,
Brown.
yeah, go on, please.
I think Favor's hand is raised. I don't know.
A hand is
Sure.
raised. Okay,
Favor, I
Favor,
can-
are you there now?
Yes, I
said-
am.
All right, so you can continue now.
Thank you very much. I'm
Am
so
I on
sorry.
the right slide or do you want me
Yes.
to go back?
It's fine, Mr. Abraham. Thank you so much. Please,
All
my
right.
apologies. I really don't know what happened. It's not my control. I'm so sorry. Please pardon me for that. The network today is really router is not working. I have to native. So, Mr. Abraham, thank you. Can you just go back? Let me see which slide is this. Okay, this is the Microsoft Excel meant. Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Abraham. So like I was saying, yes, data analysis is actually a very interesting niche in the tech field because it's quite in demand, right? Just to watch the video for the first class, which was the introduction to basically data analysis is the process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming your data. So as a data analyst, you should be able to make presentations, be able to gain insight, you should be able to understand your data. So who are the people that can use data? And data scientists, if you're a business analyst, if you're a data analyst, you can also use your data. So we're going to look at 4 tools in this data analysis course. We're going to work with Microsoft Excel, which we are currently in now. Microsoft Excel, then we'll move on to Power BI, Microsoft Power BI. So Microsoft Power BI is a business intelligence tool. We also had a little demo on that during the tester class. Then we'll move on to MySQL. So MySQL is a structured query language used for maintaining a database. So what is a database? A database is where data is being stored, right? You can store your data in Excel, but it doesn't mean that's a database, it's just a manual database. But there are programming languages, there are tools that have been used for maintaining your database. Which one of them is SQL? There is also NoSQL, but the main one we're going to be looking at is MySQL. Then moving on, we'll go to Python. So Python is a programming language used to if you're a web developer, you can work. Then there is also that you can create and so on. So currently I'm working on Excel. Why do we want to learn Excel? Right? So Excel is very broad, like Mr. Abraham was. There are lots of formulas in Excel. From the formulas, we also look at how a data analyst can be able to use Excel to work. But we've not gotten there yet. We're just at the basic formula in it. I gave an assignment at the last class. Mr. Adjorin, were you able to do the assignment? Mr. Anjorin
Yes, I
and
was able.
Othniel.
I was able to do 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I couldn't
Okay.
because
So,
I didn't see the video. So the one that required wildcards, I got lost somewhere there.
okay. Okay, that's fine. Let me share my screen. Can you hear me properly now?
It's still undulating,
Yes.
but it's better right
Yeah,
now.
it's better now.
Okay, it's better. Okay. So this is what the Excel sheet looks like. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to be able to use Excel to perform little functions. We should be able to use Excel as an attendance tracker. You should be able to use Excel as a sales tracker to be able to track your sales. As a matter of fact, some people build automated sheets here in Excel and sell it out to small businesses that can be able to get the proper inventory software. Excel can handle inventory software. Even in Excel, we have what they call VBA. What is the VBA? VBA is the virtual basic application. So in VBA, you can even write codes inside Excel. So Excel is very broad. The last class we did count if formula, the count formula, the sum formula, and so on. So why are we learning formulas? We're learning formulas so that if there's any situation that comes up that you need to solve in Excel using formulas, as a data analyst, you should be able to do that. So it's not all about creating dashboards in Power BI. You should be able to know your way around Excel to also build up some automations in Excel. So today we're going to look at a sales tracker. So we have a sales data here. I've already created this ahead of the class, but we're going to create it from scratch. So we have a sales data here, and this data have the date, the salesperson, product, sales, and expenses. So Dami and Rupert, this whole place you're looking at now is a sheet, right? When you open a workbook in Excel, we have different sheets. So you can add more sheets here inside a workbook. So each of these box you're seeing here, they have unique names, right? So how are you going to know these unique names? Up here vertically, you're going to see alphabets, A, B, C, D, up until the last alphabet. And horizontally here, you're going to see numbers 1, 2, 3 down to the last row. So how you're going to know the name of any box is the number you are on. Like now I'm on row 18. The corresponding alphabet there is going to make up the name of the cell. So I'm on the column A and I'm on the 18th row. So this cell is automatically A18. Then, for instance, if I'm in the J column and I am on the first row, this cell is automatically J1. So how can you see this? Up here, we have the name box tool. So any cell you've clicked on, you can easily see the name box here. It's going to show you the name of the cell. So why is this important? Now, if you are performing any mathematical calculation in Excel, you need to work with the name of the cell. For instance, in cell A20, I have 1, and in cell A21, sorry, that column is formatted. So in cell G21, I have 1, and in cell G22, I also have 1. So I want to know the output of 1 plus 1, but I want the output to be in a particular cell, which is H1. So I don't want it to be just the normal equals to 1 plus 1. If I do equals to 1 plus 1, is going to give me 2 actually. But even if I change the number in G21 to 10, this place is not going to change because I didn't get this output from any linked cell. So why am I starting with equals to? Anytime you want to perform any calculation in Excel, you must start by the equals to sign. That is the syntax for calculation. So you first of all put your equals to sign before you now bring in the formula you want. So if I want to link these two cells now. So it's going to be equals to G21 plus G22. So it's going to give me 11. So if I come to G22 and I change it to 100, the output here is now 110 because this answer is laying down from this G21 and G22. That is where this answer is from. So another thing you should also know in Excel is that here, up here, this is the formula bar. So this cell I've clicked on now, H21, is showing me that H21 output was derived from a formula which is equals to G21 plus G22. But if I click on this one that does not have any formula, up here you're going to see that it's just 10. It's not showing any formula. So most of this information here in my table, I got it from a formula. Like in this daily sales now, I got this information from a formula. So I did not just impute it. So if I give you an assignment for you to build a sales tracker and you're imputing the information by yourself, I'm going to know, because once I click on any cell, I'm going to know which cell was derived from a formula and which cell was not derived from a formula. So another thing you should also know here is how to create a table in Excel. So I'm going to copy this and paste it in a new sheet as a normal information without making it to be in a table. So I'll paste just the values. Paste values. So now this information now is just in rows and columns. It has not been moved into a table. So I can change this into a table by just saying Control T. So I'm going to reformat this column to date because it pasted the formula behind it. So I'm going to format it back to date. So then I'll type in Control T. So Control T is going to make this information to be in a table. So from this table, I can filter down my informations. We see that the salesperson here, we have Alice, Bob, and Carol. So this drop down here, I can select just a particular salesperson from here. And let me just say Favor. So it's going to show me all the information that has to do with Favor. If I select for Bob, it's going to show me all the information that has to do with Bob. So this is why transforming your regular data set into a table is important, because it's going to help streamline your information. Imagine you have a large data set just like this. Let me quickly open something I worked on. Open Kenny Inventory Management System. Okay. So now this is a large data set. This is a customer data set. So this is just like inventory stock. It has all the products in his shop. So Kenny is into cosmetics, beauty products, and so on. So if this information was not converted into a table now, if I want to know maybe a product name, how much that product is, I have to start scrolling down, because these things now, they are not in ascending order or descending order. But because I have converted it into a table, I can come here, click on the drop down and choose a particular information I want. I can say cream, and all the products with cream is going to come out here. So you can see by the side here, you are seeing low stock, you are seeing in stock, you are seeing a lot of things. It's because I've automated it to show when a product is in stock and when a product is not in stock. So this is what converting your data to a table can help you. This is going to help you streamline your information. So back to the data we're working on. We're not working on this today. Just wanted to explain why converting your data to a table is important. So let me go back to this data. So now I want to be able to know my daily sales. Let me delete this sheet. So from this data, I want to be able to know my daily sales and my monthly sales. And I also want to create a dashboard for it here in Excel to show the comparison of sales between months. So first of all is the date column. 1st January, 1st February. I just chose one date in all the months. Then we have the salesperson, we have the product, and we have how much they sold that day. And we also have how much they spent that day. So this sales column has been formatted to be in Naira. Normally, if I have 250,000, it doesn't come with Naira. It's going to come in numbers. I have 300,000. It does not come with Naira symbol. So I was the one that formatted it to have the Naira symbol. So how did I do that? You select on the column that has the amount. Then up here is your number formatting. So this is where you can format either your text, your numbers, or your dates. So I've highlighted the column. Then I'll come down here to more accounting formats and I'll choose Naira. So you're going to see different currencies here. So you're just going to choose Naira and everything has been formatted to Naira. So this is how I did it here. Same with expenses. So for the dates, you can see that it has 1st January 2024. So the syntax for your date in Excel is DMY, date, month, or year. So if I want for 1st January 2024, I have to put the date first, which is 01 slash the month 01 slash 2024. So now this date now, I can now format it to either long date or short date. So this same number formatting tab, I will click on the drop down. You're going to see different formats here. So you're going to click on long date. So it's going to give you the output 1st January 2024. Then what else? Which other formatting is here? I think that's all. Then if you just want only your month to be showing, you don't want the date to show, you just want to have months and your year, just like January 2024. You can see that this January 2024 has automatically gone to a custom format. So you are seeing custom here. Why is it showing custom? Because it's not in the DMY format. It's just in the month and year format, which is the MY. So I'm going to click on the custom for you to see the format in which it is in. So more number formats. You can see custom. So now we have different options. You can make your date, month, and year to be in date/month/year, or you can be date-month-year. It can also be month and just year. It can be date and only month. So these are all the formats your date can come in. It can also be hours, minutes, then AM or PM. It can also be hours, minutes, or seconds, then morning or afternoon. So now this one is time, while these other ones are dates. Then you can now have dates, months, year, hours, and minutes. So all these are the custom formats your date can come in. That is why this one is just in January 2024, while this one is a long date, which is 1st January 2024. So this is just a breakdown of how I was able to achieve this table. So if you want to redo this table, you're just going to put in your date column, your salesperson column, your product column, and your sales. So you are going to format your sales and your expenses column to be in the Naira sign. Then you will format your date column to be in long dates, right? So the next sheet now is the daily sales. So why it is also important to make your information to be in the table-like form is because if I come down here and I add 0301 2024, it's going to add into this table automatically. And it's also going to be formatted as a long date because I've already formatted this A column to be in long dates. As you can see now, it's already in this table, 03 January 2024. So in this daily sales, if I put 0301 2024, all the information about 03 January 2024 is going to show here because this same information is here in the sales data. So you can see that this 3rd of January, there is no output of total sales, there is no output of total expenses because here in the sales data, there is nothing like that. So I'm going to quickly fill it. So you're going to see the difference in the daily sales sheet. So I'm going to use Alice. So on the 3rd of January, Alice sold a camera and she sold it for 40,000 and her expenses for that day was 20,000. So you can see here it has been imputed here automatically because this information you are seeing here was gotten from a formula, meaning that these sheets, these daily sales sheets and these sales data sheets are being linked up by a formula. This is how good Excel can be. I can customize this and even give it out to a small business. I just want to know how much she made on a daily and also how much she made monthly. So now, January 2024, it has been updated to 590,000. If I go back here and delete the information of 3rd of January, that is, I'm going to minus 40,000 naira. If I go to the monthly, it has gone back to 550,000 naira. It's no longer showing 590,000 naira. So the next sheet, which is this daily sales sheet, you are going to just put how many days you want it to show. So this daily sales sheet has the unique dates, 1st January, 1st February, 1st March, because this is the date that is here. But in this main sheet, if I put more days and what I sold is also going to reflect here. But I decided to just use 1 day each in the month so that it's not going to be so bulky and you can understand the concept first before we go ahead to looking at other examples. So now, how did I bring in these total sales to show here? We have the sum formula. Here we have 5 basic formulas in Excel that are very simple. We have the sum formula, we have the average formula, we have count numbers, max and min. So let me talk about the sum. So now if I want to know how much in total is this, I'm going to use equals to sum, then I will pick my range, sum from D2 to D14. This is going to give me the sum 2,650,000. So this is just the regular sum formula. It's not summing with a condition, it's not summing with a criteria. The people that were in the last class, they are going to understand what I mean by conditions and criteria. So now, this sum if formula now is not just summing how much, it's summing based on a criteria. So the criteria to get the total sales now for this first day, 1st of January. So that means I want to know the total sales on these dates inside this sheet. Let me quickly do an example. So I have 1st of January 2024. And I want to know how much I sold on the 1st of January 2024. Remember, the information of how much I sold on this day is on a different sheet, which is the main sales data sheet, which is this information that you are seeing here. So I'm bringing in the sales for 1st of January into this sheet, which is the daily sales sheet. So now, the formula now is not just going to be equals to sum, because if I'm just doing the normal equals to sum, it's not going to give me the summation of how much I sold on January, because bringing in that condition of how much I sold in January, I now have to use a different formula, which is sum if. So what is sum if going to do now? Sum if is going to add the cells specified by a given condition or criteria. So now my condition to get this answer is the sales you are bringing in must be the sales of 1st of January, which is this formula that is here. So it's summed in equals to sum if sales data from A2 to A13. This sales data you're seeing here, let me explain this formula for you. This sales data A2 to A13 you're seeing here is showing you that this A2 to A13 is not from this sheet, it's from the sales data sheet. While this daily sales A2, that is the sale of A2 in this daily sales sheet. While this one, sales data from D2 to D13, is from D2 to D13 in the sales data sheet. So now let's go and check what is in A2 to A13 in the sales data and what is D2 to D13 in the sales data. So A2 to A13 here is the date, while D2 to D13 here is the sales. So that means it's saying sum the sales from 1st of January to the 1st of December, and the condition must be this date that is here, which is the 1st of January 2024. I don't know if you are following. Am I too fast? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Mr. Rupert, are you following?
Absolutely. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Is there any question so far? Am I too fast? I should go back to explain.
Okay. I actually put my hands up, like I want to ask a couple of questions. So is that okay?
Yes, please go ahead. I can't see when your hand is raised because I've shared my screen, so I'm just seeing my Excel document.
Okay. So on when you were explaining about the sum formula, so you highlighted the cell you highlighted the column for B.
Yes.
Yes. So because this data is just like 14 rows. So I was just wondering, like, if like we have a 5 billion rows of data, how are you going to select everything at once?
Okay. So now look up at this formula bar. This was where I did the calculation equals to sum of, okay, you can see it's already here, it's already showing. So now this cell now was from this formula, which is equals to sum. So automatically, because the information in D2 to D14 is a sales data here, you can see it has already shown us that equals to sum table 1 of sales. So this sales is the column name, and this sales is inside this table. So let me quickly rename this table for you to see. So let me rename the table so that you're going to understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to name this table sales table. So this is a sales table now. So if you have a very large column, you can just go and select that column. So you will now say equals to sum the sales table, the sales column inside the sales table. Let me do it again.
Okay.
Do you understand? So equals to sum. I want to sum from D2. I want to sum from D2 to D14. Automatically, it has already shown me that I'm summing the whole column of sales in this sales table. But if I was summing just D2 to D4, and sorry, D2 to D7, you can see that it's showing me just that range. But because I summed the whole column, it has now given me the name of the whole column, that I'm summing the whole sales column inside this sales table. So if you have a very large data and you want to sum the whole columns, you will just go and select the column. You don't even need to put in the range. So you say sum the sales column. You can see it has selected.
Okay.
It's going to select the whole of that column, which is the sales table, the sales column inside the sales table. So it's not showing me any range, D2 to D7 or D1 to D3, because I'm summing the whole column. I don't know if you understand now.
Yes, I understand. I was just the reason I asked was because of efficiency. You know,
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay. Is there any other question?
That answers my questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Shanu, do you have any question? Mr. Anjarin. Oh, Damilola, are you following?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm only looking at. I'll go and practice it. Maybe when I practice, I'll get back to you. As in
Okay,
selecting the entire column is what I'm thinking about.
Dami, are you following?
Hey, what's happening? Okay.
Okay. So let's continue.
I'm following. I'll do my practicals as well.
Okay. So now to get the total sales for this day, 1st of January, so I got it by using the sum if formula. So equals to sum if. So now the syntax of this formula is, once you bring in your sum if statement, you open your brackets. The next one is the range. So now, which range are we going to work with? We are going to work with the date range. Why? Because we want to know how much sales was made on a particular day. So your first range should be the range that has all that days. So now we are not going to use here in this daily sales date, we are going to use the range in the sales data. That is the date column in the sales data. So you clicking on your sales data now adds this statement you are seeing here, sales data. It's showing that you are now on the sales data sheet. So now, not only are you on the sales data sheet, I now want to bring in the range. The first range is the date range, which is from A2 to A14. Mr. Rupert, if you can see, it has changed this to the date column in the sales table, right? So now, the next thing in this formula is your comma sign. So I'll put in the comma. Then the next is the criteria. What does this criteria mean? It's now asking me, which sales do you want to see? Which sales do you want to see? So I want to see the sales of 1st of January. So I'm going to click the dates now in the daily sales column. So I'm going to click 1st of January. Then the other range here now, the sum range now is now going to be the sales column in the sales data. So first of all, the first range is the date range, equals to sum if the first range, which is the date range, then the criteria now is the first date, which is 1st of January. Then the last one now is going to be the sales. So it's going to go and bring out the corresponding sales for this date in this date range in the sales table. So I'll go and pick the sales column, which is from D2 to D14. Let me explain this formula again. Equals to sum if. First of all is your equals to sign. Next is the sum if formula, because we are not using the normal sum. We are adding sum if because we are summing with a given condition. So now equals to sum if, you open your brackets. The first range is your date range, which has all the dates. It has all the dates in the sales data. The sales table has all your sales information, all the dates, all the products they sold, and then how much you sold on each day, and then the expenses you made on each day. So the first range is going to be the date range in the sales data. Then next is your criteria. The criteria now is the first date, which is 1st of January 2024, which is here in your daily sales, 1st of January 2024. Then the last criteria is going to be your sum range, which is where they are going to extract that sales from, which is your sales column, here in the sales table. So doing that, when you are done with that, you're going to click enter, and you can see it has brought out 250,000, because 250,000 is the total sales in 1st of January 2024. So if you want to do for 1st of February 2024, you also do the same thing. Equals to, okay, I think I should bring this data inside these sheets, because the sheets are in two different places, which might be making it difficult for people to understand. So let me quickly bring this here. Let me paste this here. Control V. Okay. Okay. So now this table is the sales table, while this table here is the daily sales table. This one is the main data, which is the master data, the data that has all the information, all the days inside. While this one is just the daily sales table. So any dates you impute here, it will just bring out the sales and it will bring out the expenses. So let me do for February. So I want to know the total sales on February. So I'm going to bring in the formula, which is the sum if formula, equals to sum if. Then I'll open my brackets. My range is going to be this range, because this is the range that has all the numbers from E2 to E14. This is the date range. So now my criteria is going to be this criteria, because this is the place that I'm going to have different dates and then different sales. So I'm going to bring in this criteria, which is the 1st of January 2024. Then the last one is the sum range. So it's going to bring out this sales column. So my sum range is going to be this sales column, which is from H2 to H15. So what this formula is going to do is going to bring out these sales for this particular date. So anywhere the formula sees this date, 1st of January 2024, it will go and track where 1st of January 2024 is in this range, then bring out the corresponding sales, which is 250,000, which is this answer. So to do for February 2024, it will be equals to sum if. Then my range will also be the date range from E2 to E14. Then my criteria now, let me just assume that the criteria has not been written down and I just want to put in the criteria myself. So the criteria is going to be 1st of February 2024, which is 01/02/2024. I'm going to put my parentheses here because I'm bringing in a string. So I'll put my parentheses here. Then the last range is going to be the sum range, which is the range that has the information I'm looking for, which is the sales from H2 down to H14. So you can see that this one now gave me the same 180,000. Why? Because the criteria is 1st of February 2024. So me clicking this place for January is because I just have all the information written here already. So I don't need to go and start typing in the dates manually, 01/01/2024. Then the next formula, I'll put 01/02/2024. The next one, I'll put 01/03/2024. That is why I was just clicking on this place at once, because I already have the criteria written down. Remember, I've already formed this table from the scratch. So I've already written down the dates on my own. So it's just for me to click on the particular dates, then it will bring out the sales for that date. You can see this is 130,000 because the criteria I clicked was A4. And what is A4? A4 is 1st of March 2024. And the sales for 1st of March 2024 is 130,000. I don't know if I've explained this sum if formula very well. I don't want it to get confusing for you people. Do you understand the formula now? Hello?
Hi, sorry. I think moving between the tables is quite confusing for me. I don't know about other people. So I was just wondering if this table can be named, can be titled like which one is the sales data, which one is the daily sales. I know it's in the sheets, but because you move the tables into one sheet, so it's now difficult. I can hardly follow.
Okay, but when they were in different sheets, did you understand?
Yes, I could understand, because when you move between the sheet, I could know that okay, you're getting this information from the sales data, and
Okay, because I was thinking that it was even more complex that way. That was why I had to bring both of them together. So let me
okay, but I
move
was
this down.
okay, but even if you don't, you didn't move it, can these tables be named like you just put like let's say daily sales on top, and the other one will be sales data, so we know which one is which.
So now this is the sales data.
Absolutely, thank you.
And thank you so much. It makes it easier for me to explain so that I'm not just talking and no one is following. So this is the sales data and this is the daily sales summary. Do you understand now?
Yes, okay, yeah,
Okay.
it's
So let me start afresh to create this daily sales summary table now. So we all know that the daily sales is different days in a month. So I can come and say, oh, from on the 1st of January 2024, I want to know how much I sold. So 01/01/2024. So I want to know my total sales. So the total sales will now be equals to sum if, open the bracket, which table has the information of all the dates and all the sales, Mr. Rupert?
yeah, is the sales data.
Okay, which is this. So meaning my range, the date range is going to be from this range, from A6 to E18. So this is the date range in the sales data, right?
Yes.
Now, the criteria now is the particular date I'm looking for. So since I already have my dates written down here, I can quickly click on this cell K5. So what it's going to do is just going to go and look for where the information in K5 matches this range, right? If I don't have
Yes.
the information written down, I can always type in my criteria. So now, since I'm going to type in the criteria, I'm going to bring in the parenthesis mark, which is this sign. Then I'll put the criteria, which is the 1st of January, 01/01/2024. I'll close the parenthesis and comma, which is the next range. So now I'm going to bring out the particular date from this date. So what am I bringing out? Am I bringing out expenses or am I bringing out sales? So what I'm bringing out is sales. And the sum range for that sales, which is where the output is from H6 to H18. So what this formula is just going to do is going to go and bring out the sales for this criteria, which is 01/01/2024. And that is this 250,000. Do you understand now?
Yes, I understand. But let's say on the 1st of January 2024, so you have multiple customers purchase things on that day, not just Alice.
Okay, thank
You
you.
understand?
Yes, I understand. So now
Okay, so
in this same table, let me just answer you straight. I already understand what you're trying to ask. Hello?
yes, I can hear you. So yeah. So let's say on the
Okay.
1st of January, you have like, let's say 5 or 10 customers who purchased an item on that day. So which means their names will be on different
Rows.
column. Yeah, rows or yes, different rows. Yes, they're not be on different rows. So how do you add them together
Okay. So
to give
now,
you the total
meaning
sales on
that
that day? Yes.
it's going to be the same date, right? It's still going to be that same criteria. So in this sales data now, let me just quickly repeat that same date, which is 01/01/2024, right?
Yes.
Then the salesperson is Bob, and the product is laptop. So let's say 90,000. Let's say 50,000, so that you're going to see how it's going to change to 300 immediately. So 50,000 expenses on that day was 20,000. You can see that here it has already changed, Seth.
Okay.
It has already changed to 300,000. Can you see that? It's because of the formula. Why did it even change like this? Because this information is already in a table. So once you put in a new information down, is going to add to this table at once. So the range that is here, remember that the range that is here, this first range was the whole of this column. So any new date that was added into this column, any new sales that was added to this column, as far as it fits this criteria here, which is 01/01/2024, is going to bring out the output.
Okay. So in the case that you don't have your data in a table, in a tabular form, will this still work?
No, it's not going to work. Now, if you
Okay.
don't have it in a tabular form, let me say, if I change this now, if I copy it and paste it and just put it in the normal, okay, let me put it here. So I'm going to paste just the values. I won't paste the formula. Let me change this to dates. So you can see.
Okay.
So let's say this date range now. I'm just removing the date range now. So let's say the date range was from this place to this place. This is where the new date is, right?
Yes.
It's still giving me 300,000. So let me go down here and put in a new date, 01/01/2024. It's not going to change because I
Okay.
just added something just in a regular row. But why this one affected this is because this is already a table. So any new information you put, as far as is down here and as far as is next to this place, is going to add automatically into the table. So if I name this profit, you can see it has been added into the table as profit. That is why it's
Okay.
important to always put your data in a tabular form if you want to start performing mathematical calculations.
Okay. So in column M, if you, let's say you name that date, so without the okay, sorry, let's say you name column M, you put the dates on top. So adding a filter means it's a table.
Okay, let's quickly see that. So when you mean adding a filter, data filter, right? So you'll be able
Yes,
to
yes,
filter then each date.
yes.
It doesn't. Wait, where do you
Okay,
come
no, what
from?
I'm saying is if you name the dates, if you name it like a date, like a date, a string, okay? If you name it a date, so adding a filter also means it's a table because I could see the dates here. They are a filter is added to it, like.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I like when my class is interactive. Please, any other person with any question, please. Is there anything I did here you don't understand? I'm ready to repeat it 1,000 times as long as you understand. Okay, let's move forward. So Mr. Rupert, let's quickly do the total expenses. So let me change this column. Let me delete this column and name it total expenses. Delete. So why is this showing ref? It's showing ref because, we got this answer. We later changed this range to be this range that was in this M column before, and we've removed it. That is why it's showing ref, because where the output came from has been deleted. So I'm just going to put this back here. So now we want to know the total expenses for this same day. So do you have any idea how we can do it?
So the total expense for this January.
Yes, for still that same day, still the 1st of January 2024. We are also going to do for monthly, but now we are just doing daily sales summary. So I want to know the total expenses for the 1st of January 2024.
Okay. So you will use the sum if.
Okay, equals to sum if.
Then you select the sales data.
Which range are we going to work on?
So like this row 19, or sorry, row 20 hasn't got the information on it. Or does it? So you go sum if
Okay,
the sales data to row 19.
that's the date column, right?
Yes, the date column, yeah.
For 19. Okay. So what's the criteria going to be?
So the criteria will be the dates you want, like let's say if it's 1st of January or 1st of February.
Okay. So should we type in the criteria, or we should choose a cell that already has the criteria we want?
Yes, I think a cell is more, just choosing a cell is more efficient than typing.
Okay. Okay, so we already have 1st of February 2024 here by the side, A7 here. So I will just click on A7, right? This is the criteria.
Yes.
Then what is now going to be the sum range?
So the sum rate should be
Where is it
total
getting the
sales.
answer from? No, we are working on expenses now. Sorry. We're working on expenses. So where are we going to get that answer from? Which range is the answer lying in?
So it's like range from column, let's say column C.
C?
So
Okay.
range is from C6 to C18.
Okay. That's it. You can see here we have 1, We have 12,000 naira. That's the expenses for 1st of February 2024. Do you understand it now?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so that was how I got this total sales here, total expenses here for the whole days. So if I come to this main sales data and impute different days, is going to be changing here. So if I come here and do 01/02/2024, which is the 1st of February 2024, and I make my sales to be, okay, I make my expenses to be 15,000, right? And the sales here should be 20,000. Okay, why is this changing? Okay, this one is not changing because I got this information from this sales data. I know that I just copied and pasted this one here to make it change. So let me, but you already understand what I'm trying to say. Hello, Rupert. Do you understand what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to
Sorry,
add.
I didn't quite catch that, please.
Okay, so now I'm trying to add this same 1st February 2024. I'm trying to repeat it more than once here.
Okay. So just add it to E20, yes.
So it's giving me 27,000. So this was how I was able to do this. So let's move to the monthly summary. We've understood the daily summary. So now we're going to move to the monthly summary. Let me delete this. Delete. So this is the monthly summary. So let me make this to be in a table, Ctrl-T. So now, what this monthly summary is going to do now is going to calculate all the sales from 1st of January to the 31st of January, right? So I'm going to bring in this sales data by the side here again, so that we're going to understand. Copy. So I'll paste this here. Ctrl-V. Bring this down. Monthly summary. So this is what we want to work on now. We want to redo it here. Monthly summary. So January 2024. So now, how are we going to get the total sales for January 2024? So now we are not just going to use sum if. We are now going to use sum ifs. So what is this S at the back of the IF? Is because now we are not just using one condition. You know, before it was sum if because we were using just one particular date as the condition. So now we're not just using one particular date. We are now using more than one date and more than one criteria. And the other criteria was just a daily sale, but now this criteria is now going to be all the sales in that month. So it's now going to add from 1st to 2nd up until the 31st of January. So that is why we are now using sum ifs instead of sum if. So just looking at the formula here, is saying equals to sum ifs, the sales table, the sales column in the sales table, and the date column in the sales table, and sum from the 1st of January up until the 31st of January. So that is the explanation for this formula. So let's quickly put it down. We are working here. This is where we are working on. Let me highlight it so that you see it. So to get the total sale for January 2024 is going to be equals to sum ifs, because now it's working with more than one condition and more than one criteria. So the first sum range is going to be the dates in the sales data, which is this. Okay, why this stuff is showing the hash sign is because the space here is a little, so I'm going to expand this. So when you expand it, that sign is not going to be showing any longer. Okay, so let's move on. Equals to sum ifs, open the brackets. So the first range is going to be this date range from E4 till E18. Then the second range is going to be the sales range, which is from H4 till H18. So now, what is the criteria now? Remember, the criteria before was a particular date, which is one date, 1st of January 2024. Now, the criteria is not going to be just one date. The criteria is going to be, I'm going to put the parentheses mark. So the criteria is going to be, give me all the sales from the 1st of January till the 31st of January. So I cannot impute this sentence like this. There is a formula I'm going to use and impute it. So it's going to be greater than or equals to 01/01/2024. Close my parentheses. So what does this greater than or equals to mean? So anything that is from the 1st of January to 2024, or anything that starts, greater than is higher. So from the 1st of January 2024 and from 1st of January 2024, the equals to sign is give me the exact information, and then the greater sign is anything that's now higher from that date down to the 31st. So now for the 31st, now the second range is now going to be less than 31st. So it's now going to be less than or equals to 31st of January 2024. So now this second range is not I did not put in greater than or equals to 31st of January 2024. I put in less than or equals to 31st of January 2024. So that means it's going to look for all the sales that fall into the range of from the 1st of January, and it's going to stop at the 31st of January 2024. And I'll close my range, which was the mistake here. Okay. Okay, let me quickly do this again. So sum ifs the first range, which is the sales range from here down here. The second one is the dates range from E4 down to E18. Then the first criteria is the first date, which is greater than or equals to 1st of January 2024 / 2024. Then the second criteria is going to be from this date, anything that's less than or equals to 31st of January 2024. So I'll bring in the parentheses, then less than or equals to 31st January 2024. Then I'll close my brackets. What's going on? Why is it not working? Is there any mistake in this formula? Let me expand my screen to be sure I'm putting in the right thing. Okay. First is some ifs. So let me just use this sales table. Sales. Then the dates. Greater than or equals to 01 January 2024. Then the dates here. Less than or equals to 31st January 2024. Okay, so you can see it has given me the total sales. So if I come to this sales data and add in one more date in January, like I made an extra sale on the 2nd of January or on the 1st of January, 01/01/2024, and I sold 200,000. Here in the monthly sales, it has changed to 750,000 naira. So if you're able to do this for all the months and work on it very well, design it, remove the grid lines, make it standard, you can now have a simple sales tracker that should be able to give you your sales for daily and your sales for monthly. So in this space now, I can quickly insert a chart. So I can insert just a simple chart. Let me just show you.
Sorry,
So
before you progress to the chart part, so I think I am completely lost with the sum ifs formula, and it completely overwhelmed me. So for me not to lose focus, is it possible if we go over that sum ifs again? And there are some things I would like to know, like the quotation mark. So what does that do? And the comparison operator as well. So what does that do? And the equal sign as well. So that, because the difficult part of this Excel thing is understanding the syntax for me,
okay, it's fine. I'll guide you through. So now
please.
it's fine. So now we want to get the total sales for each month. We've been able to work on the sales daily, and you understand that very well, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So now we want to move on to the monthly sales. So first of all, I told you that we're not going to use the regular sum if.
Yes, I
Why?
understand that part.
Because
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
So now we are
because we
using
are calculating more than one.
yes. So we are using
Yeah.
some ifs now. So now we are not only using some ifs, we are going to now bring in the greater than sign and the equals to sign. I don't know, maybe when you, I don't know, but there was this time in school where they used to teach us greater than, equals to, less than. So they are called logical operators,
Okay,
right?
logical, no comparison. Yeah, true. Yeah, logical. Yeah,
Yes. So they are
yeah
called
logical
logical
operators. Yeah.
operators. So now in Excel, we can't start saying, we can't start imputing that give us the sales from January 2020, from 1st of January 2024 to 31st of January 2024. It's not going to understand that command because Excel is an object-oriented language. So there are some objects that Excel is going to understand, right? So Excel works with logical operators as well. So now instead of, typing in from 1st of January to 31st of January, we now need to bring in these logical operators. So now it's going to be either greater than or equals to. So if I'm saying greater than, so I'm saying give me the sales that, so if I'm saying greater than 1st of January, so it's going to start counting all the dates that are above 1st of January because that is greater than. So it's going to give me all the sales that are above from the 1st of January 2024. So now bringing that equals to now, I'm now telling it that, oh, you are not just giving me the sales that are above 1st of January 2024. The equals to sign is saying also from the 1st of January 2024.
January.
So it's giving me
Yes.
equals to, which is the exact date. So it's giving me from the 1st of January down to any other date I want. So now, if you can remember, there was less than and there was equals to. So what is that less than now? So from this 1st of January, you are going to stop less than 31 January 2024. So you're not going to give me anything that is above 31 January 2024. And then the equals to at the back of the less than is now saying, okay, so stop at the 31st of January 2024 and any other day that is below 31st January 2024. So that is just the logical operators.
Okay.
Do you
Makes
understand
sense now. Yes.
Okay, so thank you
Thank you.
for the question. So now this parenthesis now, I'm now bringing in a criteria. You know that before, during that criteria stage in the daily sales, you can just click on a cell that already has the criteria you want to work with, right? So now that we don't have a cell that has this statement of greater than or equals to, so we are going to be the one to put in the criteria ourselves. So for Excel to understand that that is a criteria, you have to bring in the parentheses mark. So people that have worked with Python programming language is going to understand it better. So bringing in that parentheses mark now makes Excel to understand that that is a string. That is a criteria. That is a unique information I'm trying to find in the range I'm working with. So that is just the parenthesis mark there. Do you understand? So anytime you want to bring in a criteria, as far as the criteria is not already in any cell and you want to bring it in on your own, you need to put that parenthesis mark. So wait, let me quickly do something simple for you. So I have subject, I have score, and okay, I have name here. So I have Rupert, I have David, I have Favor. Okay, let me make it one more rows. So I have maths, English. Okay, let me just do maths, English, maths, English. Let me just repeat this. Then from my score, I have 30, 35, and the rest. Okay, so there's what they call the count formula. The summation formula is just going, if I bring in equals to sum from J6 to J9, it's just going to give me the total amount. It's going to add 30 plus 35 down to 45. But bringing in the count formula is going to count how many numbers are there. So if I say equals to count from this to this is going to give me 4. So it's telling me that we have 4 numbers here. It's not telling me, it's not giving me the aggregation now. It's just telling me how many. So we have 4 numbers here now. So I want to know how many students wrote the English exam. So I'm trying to answer this using a formula. I can get this answer if I'm working on a pivot table, but using a formula. So I'm not going to use the normal count now. I'm going to use count if. Remember that the if at the back of any formula is because you're not just counting, you're not just using that formula on its own, you're now using that formula with a condition. So the range now is going to be from J6 to J9, and the criteria is going to be English. Okay. Let me quickly do this from this place to this place. Okay, so now the question, I made a mistake with the question, but what this formula was able to do, it was able to bring out how many times English repeated in this range. So we already know that English was repeated here twice, English and English. So it was saying, don't just count how many things are there. Let me know how many of this criteria is in this range. And for Excel to understand that this English now is a criteria, I had to bring in the parenthesis sign because it's now taking this as a name. Can you see? When you highlight this, you're going to see that thing up there. Can you see? That's taking that criteria as a name. So it's going to look for this criteria in this range from I6 to I19. But if I already know the cell which my criteria is on, I can quickly click on that cell, which is I7. It's still going to give me 2 because the information in that I7 is English, and that is also the criteria. Do you understand it now?
Yes, I do. I was just sorry, I got attention somewhere else because my I am actually multitasking. I'm writing a report and at the same time I am
Okay. But it's
watching
fine.
this
You
here.
you already it's good to multitask. Everyone can multitask. But do you already understand this parentheses?
No, it's not good to multitask because you lose focus. You can't put all your attention. Okay, yes, I understand. I understand this now. So
Okay. So
the other thing is you said the quotation marks was to indicate a string.
yes.
Okay, so because the integers are not string, but when you put the quotation marks,
Exactly. When you put in the
it
quotation
converts
marks,
them to string.
yes, it converts them to string. Exactly.
Okay,
So that's just it. So
thank you.
that's all. So that's all for today. So I was just trying to put this in, a chart. So I just highlighted the information I want in the chart. I highlighted from months, total sales, go to insert and choose the chart you want. So we have, a simple chart here. And with this chart, we know that the highest sales was on January. So January is the month with highest sales. Just a little demonstration. So is there any question?
How did you get to the chat? How did you
Okay.
get to the chat? Yeah.
Okay, so for the chat, you have to select the information you want inside the chart. So what I want inside this chart is months and total sales. Then I've selected it. You go to insert. Then this place is the chart group. This is a chart group. So we have recommended charts here. We have different recommended charts. You can use any of the recommended charts. This line chart is just showing you the pattern with a line. So the higher the line, you should know that that is the highest sale, the lower the line and all of that. So it's just showing you the comparison using a line. But if you don't want this, you can go ahead and use the column chart. So this is the column chart. So I can rename this to sales by month. And this is it. So if you're working with pivot table, what pivot table can do is, if there's any information that is changed here, it's going to automatically change in your chart. So we have the normal table, we have the pivot table, we have the normal chart, and we have the pivot chart. But what we are doing now is just the basic table and the basic chart. So is there any question?
No question from me.
Okay, so I'm going to send this exact example now to the group chats. So you have to redo it on your own. I'm going to attach both the formulas and the answer. So you just have to redo it on your own. You should not copy and paste, but it's to guide you. So I'm going to send this document straight to the group chat. So try to redo it on your own. You can decide to add more dates. You can decide to use a specific month. Just play around with it. And our next class on Wednesday, we're going to look at it before we move on. Is that okay?
That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Very okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Damilola, did you understand it at all? Or you are just at the back listening?
No, I'm following.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sanu, you didn't ask much questions today. I hope you were not overwhelmed.
I think I was able to follow
Okay,
because of the previous ones we had.
okay,
So
okay,
it was a little confusing with the repeated dates, but I was still able to follow all this. Thank you.
okay. All right. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Sorry,
All right.
before you go, is this
Okay.
this session is recorded?
Yes, it's recorded.
Okay, so because we can go back and follow in our own at our own pace.
Yes,
To
that was
actually
what we
pause
did
and
at yes, the LMS.
pause and
We looked at the
reflect.
LMS today to know how to watch the videos after the class.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you so
thank you.
much. Good night.
All right, have a good night. Thank you for your time.
Okay, Dami, bye.